Dev streaming. Dev streaming. Go ahead and announce the stream. My less lofty than usual goal today is simply refactoring. I have decided that Ennuicastr needs refactoring desperately. And my sort of step zero of refactoring is just the last time I logged into the dev system was Boxing Day. My step zero of refactoring is just going to be sort of writing down what all of the components are. Just trying to get a sense of what all the components need to be, and my approach is basically going to be like a rewrite, except that it's only like the shell I'm rewriting. I will be copying the actual guts as I go, but when you're, changing the entire way that the system is laid out, it's better approached as rewriting with a lot of copying rather than modifying. So, like I said, step one, I just want to figure out what all the components are. So, of course, there's the configuration being the configuration for, apparently, from the URL. The outputs to that is the configuration, but also like the invite URL comes from there. Most of the components aren't quite so weird. So there's audio capture. Let me call this audio input device capture. Output of that is a stream of audio packets. Let me recall, I think WeSound, which I use for that, probably, do we even have WeSound checked out here? I guess I don't. Probably predates, it doesn't predate, it probably doesn't use streams. Is that here? What? Oh, whoops, that's, yeah. Fifth try is the charm. Creates an audio capture. That's right. It's data events. But I did it this way so that I could pipe it to a message port without... Hello, Van Whitman. You arrived too early. So I can pipe it to a message port with shared buffers. Yeah. So that can't be a stream in the usual sense of the word stream. Am I overcomplicating things by using all of this shared memory and all of these steps? Like, maybe the right way to do this, given that the only real-time task is the actual capture. Once that's been copied out of the capture, I may as well just treat it as a stream. All of the other steps would be way simpler if I just let the garbage collector run and treated it as a stream rather than trying to do so much shared memory stuff. Yep, that is exactly it, Van Whitman, except for all of the words you just said. And these aren't really packets, it's just audio data. Let's just stick with that for the moment. Audio Here's an interesting thought. Do I want the configuration? Yeah, I probably want like some kind of event that I can listen on for configuration changes. Anyway, audio input processing. And I guess the configuration needs to, well, I'm just going to call this a general configuration component. It will have both the stuff that's configured in the URL and stuff that is configured by the user. So yeah, the UI for the audio input is device selection. I don't really want configuration to be some giant nightmare anyway, so I guess I need to think about how I want to do that. The input here is the audio stream. In fact, configuration is too cross-cutting a task to consider it a component. Well, there's certainly the VAD events. There's certainly the audio stream unmodified, just through. There's also the audio stream that's been echo canceled. What other input processing do I do? Oh, of course. There's also the word recognition, the speech to text. Vosk. Although I guess now might be a time to consider replacing Vosk with Whisper. I think that Whisper.cpp is webbable now. Okay, so we've got the Vosk output as well. We've got the VAD output. Echo cancellation. Oh, of course. Yeah, I do noise reduction because there's two outputs that the input goes to. Because it goes to the recording that wants everything pure and non-canceled, non-everything. And it also wants the cleaned up version. Okay. I don't want to call this Vosk. I want to call it speech to text or captions. There we go. It's actually more like caption events because you can update previous captions as you go to correct them as it reads in the line. Okay. So then, after it's been processed, there is both the live chat side of things and the recording side of things. So needs both audio streams, echo canceled and not. And I guess it needs the VAT events too. I need a better stream than readable stream. I guess if you want a stream that's not, like I need a stream that you can just start listening to at any time and stop listening to at any time, and you can have multiple people listening to with a sort of a multicast stream, which I think is called an event. But it would be better to treat it as a stream. Would it be better to treat it as a stream? I don't think it would. I think it would actually be good to treat it as an event. So I should just have an event listener. It's a recording, not a stream, says Van Whitman. Da 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 terminology da 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 da. Yeah, I'm gonna need this core component of like a. I guess I can just use event source. Just a second. I've been getting junk calls from this number a lot. Hello. Yep, that's me. I hang up on people sometimes. Anyway. Yeah, so regardless of how I'm going to set up the actual sort of communication between these, the inputs are that. The outputs, I guess, well, I can't really call those through because they are now encoded, but it's 2 streams of encoded audio packets. Audio recording. Send output. I guess I need the network interface in general to be a component. I don't like these sort of spidery central components that everything else goes to, but I guess if anything is going to be that, it's the network connection. This is a web service after all. Good. That's the point. This font is the Commodore 64 font. It is called PetMe 64. Okay, so I've componentized. There it is. It for like all of the things that are in the regular Commodore range, it is just the actual Commodore fonts, but it's extended with Unicode and such. So I can, for example, write that, and it actually works, and that, and even letters other than E with the twiddly bits on them. It's, yeah, just an extended version of the Commodore 64 font. Although I don't have it in lovely blue on blue like Commodore 64. Okay, live chat, inputs. So this has to be the audio stream with noise reduction. I'm actually going to call that NR question mark because whether it has noise reduction is an option that you can set and reset. Right, and its outputs are, well, I guess this could also be, oh, I have to think about how video is done. Okay. Remote audio streams. Okay, I'll worry about video afterwards, because there's also audio output processing. Ah, yes. As well as all of this, I need amplitude info, because there's also the waveform. And this should also output amplitude info. Oh, and of course, through live chat, I can also get caption events. Although, I think in the current implementation, that's actually over the network, not over live chat. Which is a confusing thing to say, but it's over the central network connection, not the live chat network connection, is what I'm trying to say. Video. Do I actually capture the video twice? I think I might. I certainly don't want to, but I think I might. As a sort of inevitable. So this is if you're recording video. Obviously, if you're not recording video, I'm not capturing it twice. Let me take a quick look at how things currently work, which is quite a mess, to be honest. So, when you get a video device, oh, that's right. It just has a single shared, like, blob of this is what I'm currently sending. And it's actually events, user media video, that react to that. Yeah, that's not ideal, is it? Did not mean to reopen those. So, in effect, there needs to be So one of the issues that I would like to address in this refactor is that right now you can only input from one video device. And that may sound like, why would you ever want to input from two? But the answer is you want to share your screen and still have you visible, which is pretty standard in video chat. So I guess what I want to do is have like video input camera. And this will be the media stream for that camera as its output. And then separately, video input screen, inputs screen, outputs video stream, camera, camera. And I forgot that I was also trying to put, UI stuff here. Is there anything? So the thing is, like, the input processing. There are processing options. But, like, this and this are part of the same menu, so I'm not necessarily making this very easy on myself. Really just is a screen share button. There's not a lot of other UI to video input. You can just turn it on and off. I guess what I need is like a meta component both for audio input and for video input that is just all of the input, so you can wait for a new input or an input to be removed. Let me actually put it here where it belongs. So audio stream possibly noise reduced, and media stream from for camera and or screen. So video recording There's the encoding component, the network transfer component. Actually, there's the encoding component and the saving component, where one of the ways you can save it is by transferring it over the network to the host who's actually saving it. And then there's the network receive component. Muckseed. I guess. So the way I'm thinking about the UI and why I'm putting it in this extra sort of chunk here is I was thinking about having um, like a UI class in each of these that then the UI just plugs in, or a UI interface in each of these that then the actual user interface just plugs in the class for each interface to connect the actual UI. I guess basically I want something similar for the network is all. So I'm going to have to make a net thing for each of those two. Not very modular, is it? I mean, I would like to keep everything to do with audio recording output together, so to speak, and not have to plug some crap in a centralized network module. Similar for the user interface and such. Need to think decades ago, literally, to object-oriented design class. Well, let's continue putting just net here, because the worst case scenario, I still need this. receipt in the sense of the receiving of video recording data, not as in an invoice. Let's quickly open up on Ennuicastr. Conveniently, wrong browser opened, and it's going to take a day to open up the... It doesn't actually matter. I could have done this in Firefox. I don't know why I decided I needed to do this in Chrome anyway. Let me just give myself a quick tour of my own software. Boy, my connection sure is fast today. This testbed server is incredibly, hilariously slow. It's just sufficient as a test bench. And when I say just sufficient, I mean just barely sufficient. Perfect is the enemy of just barely adequate. Well, that's cool. Doop-a-doop-doop-doop-a-doop-doop. Oh, wait, this is... Yeah, I didn't even build anything, and I just swapped out the version I had installed. That's I should not have expected that to work. There we go. There we don't go. There we don't go. What's happening here? Oh, there we go. I'm just gonna call that testbed server crap and not worry about it. Right? Well, this is all just part of the user interface. I suppose that's not really a separate component. Output settings. Yes, this is the output processing, so that shouldn't. Or that's already sort of covered. Although I guess that means that there's a UI component to output processing that I don't remember if I put there. Right. There is a direct UI component to live chat. Soundboard I forgot about completely, but I guess that's mostly just a UI component. It has no inputs and outputs, really. The UI component of the soundboard is the soundboard. Oh, there's the chat. Forgot about the chat, too. Again, pretty separated. The UI component of the chat is the chat. The net component of the chat is chat events. At the very least, I think this is a reasonable starting point to start thinking about rewrites. I think what I'm going to do is make an Ennuicastr refactor directory and literally like start from 0 and copy things over as we go. Well, let's make the things I know I'm going to need. Let me install the things I know I'm going to need. Right, so I'm going to want like a class to manage all of the audio captures I've got, as well as, oh, right. I guess I want to be able to create, thinking. There's so much like initialization problem here. I certainly need a single shared audio context, which I guess I can just stick in. Somewhere. Let's say for the moment audio capture doesn't need a constructor per se. Instead, you initialize it or you select an audio device by ID. It's certainly going to be asynchronous. Boy howdy, is there more I've forgotten than I remember about this stuff. Get media stream. Get user media stream. Get user media. Ew, ow, my eyes, why? Oh, this is, don't even need that yet, do I? This is on navigator dot something. Navigator dot media devices? Yeah. What's the width and height that I want for my audio? Why aren't you telling me the actual constraints rather than how constraints work? There we go. Nope, don't need those. Do I, in Ennuicastr, have a whole custom event interface that I then don't expose? Sounds like the kind of stupid I would stupid. It's exported here. And it's not exported here. Do I just expose it under some different name or something? No, I have no secondary exports. Cool, brilliant, bravo me. So wait, then how do I use it in RT on Wii? Because surely RT on Wii, I don't just duplicate the event interface, do I? That would be stupid. Look at that, I duplicate the event interface. Well, that is stupid. I think the thing to do is to triplicate the event interface, because I would like what I'm going to call event streams. Ennuicastr. I believe that should be this event emitter and not some other event emitter. Type of event. What's the state of transform stream? I believe every browser now has it, but there was a while when that was very much not true. Transform stream. I'm going to transform stream that doesn't actually transform anything. Firefox 102. Cancel isn't implemented anywhere. I guess that's experimental. It's not transferable on Safari. That's weird. Please tell me readable streams are transferable on Safari. That would be extremely broken if it wasn't. Oh my god. Well, let's rethink more stuff then, because the readable streams are not transferable. I really thought that was implemented everywhere. Because I want to be able to have a lot of these modules actually be implemented as workers, and have the workers communicate with each other without having to bother with the main thread. But the easy way to do that would be to transfer readable streams between them, and then they can just stream to each other. But if I can't do that... Well, I mean, I can always build my own readable stream and just use that on Safari and use normal readable streams if I can transfer them. Yeah, I guess since I'm not going to have writable, I may as well just call it stream. Readable stream. Any, I guess. I need a shared box in which to put things that I can No, it just needs to be a buffer. Okay, I need to implement more here. I've definitely implemented buffer streams before. Am I going to remember faster where I've implemented them than I would take to re-implement them? uh, uh, that's the one I just made. Oy vey. I'm confident I've implemented buffer streams before, but it looks like I'm about to implement them again. That's not my style. Shift is the one I'm thinking of. You know what? No. Rather than null to end the stream, I will allow if I just said EOF equals false, it'll know it's Boolean. I will allow null in the buffer and just have an explicit EOF. Why doesn't this know what type the controller is? Shouldn't it know what type the controller is? I think I typoed the name is the answer to that. Oops. Okay. So now I should be able to create a buffer stream and make it work that way. I am willing to have this be typed, and it's up to the user to make sure that type makes any sense, because there's no way to check here since the actual event handler just gives any. I forgot to export. My buffer streams are nothing because I didn't export this. Now, emitter dot on. Yeah, I guess rather than calling that type, I will call it EV as in event, just to be consistent with what on calls it. And the handler. So this will be a function that takes, surely this is any typed. Event handler, yes, is any typed. The ender That's all anybody ever cares about, copy and coding. All anybody ever cares about is the font. It is. Look at that. It's in my search history. Pet Me 64. Don't go to whatever this horrible site is. Go to Creative Corp, who actually made it. It is the Commodore 64 font extended with all the modern bells, whistles, and Unicode code points. Yes, I also need the ability to end a stream when you're done. All those code exactly. I need this for coding. I wouldn't be able to code if I couldn't type that. I guess I called it end. Let's be consistent and call it end. Unfortunately, your timing isn't great, Coffee and Coding, because I think I'm about to end this stream. This is a VM, huh? Yes and no. This system is a quasi VM, but it's what's the name for? It's that VM system on Linux that is like nothing. It's no LXC. It's an LXC VM. So I run that VM so that I run that VM with a fairly low resolution so that it will be clear on stream even if people are watching it on their tiny screens. It also just makes me feel nostalgic because this is exactly how it felt programming on the Commodore 64 that this font is from. I can't say that I do these coding streams very frequently, but I usually go about twice a week. Right now it's Mondays and Wednesdays usually, and right now I am refactoring on Ennuicastr, and if you want to know what that is, it's right here. That's this, but that's the testbed server. It is this. I'm doing it publicly coding just for the sake of, if it's open source, let's make it real open. I think that this, I need to set up the compilation and such, so I think that my actual code for this event stream, which is one small part of that, is now done. So, yes, like I said,